Good morning and welcome to Flow's Safer Internet Week for Seniors. This is a Seniors Forum. I am Faye Ellington, and I just want to let you know I came here prepared with my mask, but we've been vaccinated, we've been tested, and we just want to make you know that we follow all protocols. What's the matter with you? I don't even know why he's here, because he's not at my age.
Good morning, and my name is Glenn Campbell, and the reason I am here is because I have the wealth of information. I was here when cell phones came to Jamaica. I was a part of the Flow family. Well, back then it was Cable and Wireless, and then it went to Lime, but now we're Flow. 1991 was the year.
At you?
I was also here when internet came to Jamaica. 1991 again.
But I heard you were in a cave at the time. But that's
Anyways, this morning we'd like to look at how you can take charge of your digital needs, overcome your fears of the internet, and importantly, learn how to protect yourself and your property.
And that is so very important, because digital inclusion is very, very important to Flow. As a leading entertainment and communications provider, Flow believes that people of all ages, notice I said all ages, should enjoy the benefits of the internet safely and confidently. And that's why we seek to get together today to accomplish this. So you'll be hearing from an IT specialist at the Ministry of Health, who will show you how to upload your COVID-19 vaccine cards to the internet.
We'll also have representatives from the Cyber Crime Division of the JCF and the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, who will tell us all we need to know about the internet safety best practices. But before we get to those gentlemen, I want to welcome Mrs. Cassandra Morrison, Executive Director of the National Council of Senior Citizens.
Well, good that you could join us. Very important council, National Council of Senior Citizens.
Yes, it is.
Before we get into the details of safer internet and all of that, what's the age of a senior citizen?
A senior citizen in Jamaica is anyone who is 60 years and older.
So you look at me for
All right, okay, let's get on with it. What is the mandate of the National Citizen Senior Council?
So the National Council for Senior Citizens is an agency of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. And we were really mandated to implement the government's national policy for senior citizens, which is really their framework, a roadmap of what they want senior citizens to look like, to be engaged in as they grow older. All those services that need to be provided, and we are there to advocate for the rights of senior citizens and to make recommendations to the minister and the government on what should be in place for senior citizens.
What would be the top 3 services that senior citizens need to know about that the council offers?
Well, first is advocacy, I would say. There are certain things that people don't know about. For example, the JADEP is there because the National Council for Senior Citizens advocated for such a benefit.
Let's explain JADEP, which is
the Jamaica Drugs for the Elderly program. It has now been merged with the National Health Fund, so your NHF card is now one and the same. So yes, that is a benefit. We also provide referral services. So wherever those services are that senior citizens need, we inform you and help you to navigate through the system to make sure that you are able to benefit from those services. And we also provide a senior citizens identification card that allows you to access various services and benefits. You should apply.
I have my the JADEP and the Health Fund, which is now merged.
Yes.
I need to do that. Can you apply?
Yes. Let me ask a question. How can seniors access the services of the NCSC?
Right. So you simply visit our office at 11 West Kings House Road, or you can visit any Ministry of Labor and Social Security office across the island, and there's an officer there that is solely responsible for senior citizen services. Those offices are generally known as the NIS office in your parish.
But look here now, visit, physically walk in, but we're talking about internet, we're talking about technology. Can we get through to you by using the internet or using
Very much so, yes.
Also.
So we have our email and we have the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, and we also have the Ministry of Labor and Social Security social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yes,
How
we're all
responsive,
there.
if somebody should post something on your YouTube or your Instagram, how responsive would the council be?
Very responsive. In fact, I think we've been providing lots of information to persons in terms of the COVID care grant, the vaccine initiative that some persons are so much excited about, and our various services, just finding out where vaccination sites are, about my NIS pension. So we are generally very responsive. I would say within 24 hours, we are able to provide you a response.
We want to thank you for joining, and we're happy that you've been able to join FLOW for this very important forum for senior citizens. And we are talking with Mrs. Cassandra Morrison, who is the person who is heading the National Senior Citizens Council. Now, let's get to the meat of the matter. Why you tell your membership about the safety of the internet and what they should do or shouldn't do?
Well, first of all, I want to thank the FLOW Foundation. We've been at this for years. And yes, we are very happy also that, you know, seniors are being included in this whole digital revolution. We're talking about, as I said before, persons who are 60 and older. And we have various needs of the various age groups. We have what we call the young old. Those would be persons who don't want to say they are senior citizens as yet. Right.
Or those who really haven't got to 60 yet, but eggs up.
Right? Yeah. And then, yes, persons generally accept that, you know, in lines at the banks. Well, we no longer need to join lines at the banks. Yes, and then we have the middle old, and then we have the very old, who we call 75 and over.
What do you call them, elderly? Because my mother will be 94 this month, if God spares her life. Is that an elderly person?
Well, the term elderly is actually synonymous with senior citizens. So if
No,
you're
look here,
60,
I'm not elderly. Don't go there with me.
you know,
Don't go down that path
we
with me.
understand the stigma, so we no longer say elderly. We say older, the older adult.
All right.
Right?
All right.
Right.
Okay.
So we now refer to you as the older adult.
You mentioned an email address earlier on, but you didn't say what it was. So would you like to share that
Yes.
now? Because there are people watching with, oh, I never know me could email them, or yes, me forget, or...
Right.
You know, I remember we have people who are blind, people who are hearing impaired, people who are deaf, so how do you make
Certainly.
it easy for them?
So the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website is www.mlss.gov.jm, and the National Council, NCSC at MLSS again, .gov.jm.
Yeah, if you have good memory now, we're not taking no ginkgo biloba because enough things.
And our social media pages at MLSSJA.
Oh, that's easy.
Right.
MLSS.
MLSS Jamaica.
But you know,
right.
many seniors or more mature persons, they're afraid of social media because they're afraid people cuss them out and
Yes.
trace them and have no respect for them age because ageism is a big thing around here.
Indeed, very much
Abuse
so.
of older people.
Very much so. And, you know, it is something that is quite distressing for older people because, you know, they were raised with respect.
Manners
and to
able.
give respect.
Yes.
And so it is something that is difficult for them to, you know, accept when younger persons are openly, overtly disrespectful.
I know that the older persons watching would be happy to hear that, but although this is not for young people, somebody might have sneak come in to hear what we're up to. Tell them why they need to treat older people with more respect for me, please, in 30 seconds.
Well, older people, they have earned the right to respect just by virtue of their age. And if it's not only for their age, everybody has rights. And the United Nations has outlined the rights of older people. And so one of their rights is the right to respect and the right to their dignity. And so if you are disrespectful to an older person, you really are infringing on their dignity. And we want everybody to feel, you know, acceptable in Jamaica. We are moving towards Vision 2030, where we say Jamaica is the place of choice to live and work.
Raise families and do
Right.
business.
And grow older.
Yes, the thing is
Good.
too that we realize that we all have opinions, they may differ, but the thing is respect.
Every
at
time.
all levels, all the time.
Mrs. Morrison, thank you so much, Mrs. Cassandra Morrison, for coming here and sharing what happens at the National Council for Senior Citizens, NCSC. And just a reminder, they're on West Kings House Road. What's the number?
Number 11.
So if you want to go there in person, they're at number 11, West Kings House Road. And I'll give one of the addresses. You can give the other. If they are part of the Ministry of local Labor and Social Security. Labor and Social Security. www.m as in mango, lss.gov.jm. But you can also go to them by their
NCSC at mlss.gov.jm.
You see that older people have a purpose?
Miskapi.
All right. All right, thank you so very much, and thank you for joining. We're not done yet, you know, because we have some giveaways now. We have giveaways, and Glenn is going to lead on that. Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you,
Morrison.
Mrs.
You have a safe day. God bless you.
You too. Thank you.
All right, so now, as we say, giveaway time. You can win things. And the things we're talking about, you're being able to win, a phone courtesy of Flow. For the first person who can give me the correct answer to this question, and we said it about 2 or 3 times, what ministry does the NCSC fall under? Now, folks, remember, you join us on Zoom, on YouTube, on Instagram. This is your chance to win something. And see, we have a phone, and we can't see anybody who come in the group with the answer.
Okay. We're not seeing that yet.
Yes, but Faye, as I said, I come with all the information. That's why I'm sitting here this morning. Can you tell me, when did Facebook come around?
I have a slate. I can tell you that I went to primary school with a slate. And I had a slate pencil. Why are you coming to discombobulate me and ask me about Facebook?
Because as seniors, we have to keep in touch with what's going on.
I am on Facebook. Make a check.
Facebook was created in 2004.
Oh, yes, I know that.
I have a confession to make, folks. I joined some 11 years later.
After me?
After you.
Why?
Reason being, as is the case with quite a few seniors, kind of skeptical and not too confident about using something that you're not used to. And so I waited forever and ever until them say, no, Glenn, man, it look bad, man. Everybody around here on Facebook, we can't reach you, we can't talk to you. You're in the public focus and people can't talk to them, friend. And so I joined 2015, 11 years after. And so older folks, we know that sometimes it's a little daunting, some of these things. And you have TikTok, you have Snapchat, you have all these things.
And you have Twitter and you have Instagram and you can do all kinds of fascinating things.
But the thing is to get someone to kind of guide you through it if you're unsure of what's happening. But it's there, and there's a whole new world.
Truly.
Believe me, once you get on.
So we're going to get on by going into a commercial break now, and by that time we should be able to know if anybody has given the answer to your question. All right? No, we haven't seen that there. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. You stay where you are. There's much more information, IT, security, all these things. We have the important people who deal with these things coming right back at you.
And give away phone credit. Soon come.
Are you and your child practicing safe internet use? Join Flo and Dr. Terry Carell Reed for Safer Internet Week Kids Talk. Live on TVJ, Saturday, February 12th at 9:30 a.m. Kids, learn the smart rules of safe internet practices. Parents, learn how to guide and monitor your child's internet usage. You don't want to miss it.
Grab a copy for news you can use. Jamaica Observer, Everyday Matters.
Our news, our world, our today.
Jamaica Observer tells the news stories that matter from Portland to the Grill and points in between. Get your Daily Observer and be always ahead with reports from our team of correspondents across the country. Never miss a story. Subscribe to our print or e-paper editions at jamaicaobserver.com. Always.
Are you and your child practicing safe internet use? Join Flo and Dr. Terry Carell Reed for Safer Internet Week Kids Talk. Live on TVJ, Saturday, February 12th at 9:30 a.m. Kids, learn the smart rules of safe internet practices. Parents, learn how to guide and monitor your child's internet usage. You don't want to miss it.
Grab a copy for news you can use. Jamaica Observer, Everyday Matters.
Our news, our world, our today.
Jamaica Observer tells the news stories that matter from Portland to the Grill and points in between. Get your Daily Observer and be always ahead with reports from our team of correspondents across the country. Never miss a story. Subscribe to our print or e-paper editions at jamaicaobserver.com. Always.
Are you and your child practicing safe internet use? Join Flo and Dr. Terry Carell Reed for Safer Internet Week Kids Talk. Live on TVJ, Saturday, February 12th at 9:30 a.m. Kids, learn the smart rules of safe internet practices. Parents, learn how to guide and monitor your child's internet usage. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back.
Good news.
We're here at the Flow Seniors Forum for Safer Internet Week. I'm Glenn, and this is Auntie Faye. Auntie Faye. And we have a winner. We have two winners, actually, for the question asked earlier. Winner Donna McCoy on Zoom. You win a phone.
Wow.
Also, Juanita Swaby, our YouTube winner. And Juanita, we're asking that you reach out to Flow Foundation JA at cwc.com to arrange collection of your prize.
Repeat
All right?
that address, sir.
Flow Foundation JA at cwc.com to arrange collecting your prize.
All right. And just before we go into our next two guests, we are out there on Zoom, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And whichever of the platforms you're on, welcome. We're happy that you're on, and we're going to be sharing some more very important information with you.
Just before you
Yes.
introduce your guest, I want to give you something else. We have some credit. So, folks, one more question, and it was mentioned a couple times too. At what age are you considered a senior citizen?
So deal with that
Easy.
while you listen to our next guest. I see you looking very worried about the senior citizen something. Deputy Superintendent Warren Williams of the JCF, Jamaica Constabulary Force Cybercrime Division, to my immediate left, and to his left is Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling. He's head of the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team. Some people don't know about this response team, you know, Lieutenant Colonel. After this year, just Colonel in this setting. What is this response team?
Good morning, Auntie Faye. Good morning, Glenn. And good morning to our viewers out there. The Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team is the government's response capability with respect to cybersecurity issues, and really came out of the National Cybersecurity Strategy of 2015 as a deliverable to provide response to cyber incidents with national impact and to manage incident response for cybersecurity incidents right across the spectrum. However, given the fledgling nature of cybersecurity response in Jamaica, we, in addition to the other members of the cybersecurity framework in Jamaica, respond to every incident, not just those with national impact. So from the citizen and individual to corporate, as well as things that affect national security and our sovereignty.
Colonel Sterling, how will we reach you if we need you? You say you respond to everything and everybody, so how are we going to reach you?
The easiest way to...
personally, but the team.
The easiest way to reach us, Auntie Faye, is through our website at www.cirt.gov.jm.
Okay, that's www.cirt.gov.jm. Do you work very closely with this gentleman? Let me ask him if he works closely with you. Deputy Superintendent Warren Williams, you are with the Jamaica Constabulary Force. You work closely with them?
Indeed, Auntie Faye, we do work closely on many ventures, and yes, we do.
Talk to me about this scamming. They might kill the senior citizens with this scamming. Address it.
Well, scamming is a new phenomenon, maybe not to Jamaica, but globally. And it's not only impacting the West now, but it's right across Jamaica. We know scamming for money, but there are other scams. There are other scamming schemes where persons may send you an email to say, listen, there is a job in the UK, you get £1,000 per week. It looks too good to be true. Then you have human trafficking. So indeed, it has been a challenge and a growing challenge for the Jamaican environment, and especially now, where persons now have ready access to internet and smart devices. They can, just about post any type of content that will, of course, lead somebody to do something which, expose them unnecessarily. So yes, it's a challenge, and where we are from the Cybercrimes Division, we provide support to investigators. We fall under CTOC. So, we do have a specialized team that deals with that also, which is the Lottery Scam Task Force. So it's specific, and we very much have the interest of the Jamaican citizen at large, because based on what we're signed up for to serve and protect, we're not only affected in the physical space now, but in the digital space, and of course, we are paying some attention to that.
And you have to. Let me go back to Colonel Godfrey Sterling. I know you work closely, right? Because it's a tight area that has to be addressed. What would you say to the senior citizens who are watching in terms of how do they protect themselves? How do you stop this from happening to you? I'm going to you, Colonel Sterling.
Right. Thank you for the question, Auntie Faye. And to the senior citizens out there, or the older adults, they're no call.
Young adults.
The challenges are many, and a lot of times the most difficult ones you face is really just understanding what it is you're meant to do and to do that securely. There are a whole slew of recommendations that could be made, but if we were to look at the top three in the essence of time, the first is to understand what it is you're attempting to do on social media or on the internet. And when you understand that, if you can't do it on your own, seek support or get somebody to help you. Normally your children or grandchildren are able to do that.
Sometimes the grandchildren, they're not patient with them. Anyway, go on.
True, and if that is the case, you can always reach out to somebody else. At the very least, you can reach out to the CERT. And as long as we're not totally immersed in other investigations, we will assist. But what it really means is once you understand what you're trying to do, then you go about it in a very systematic way. When you're trying to create passwords that are strong. Now, I know it's difficult to remember long passwords,
especially when
complex
you're older.
passwords. But if you think about a passphrase as opposed to a single word with a lot of complex characters, then that might help you to get that strong password in.
Let me just expand on that. Something that you say regularly, maybe, or something that you grow up around, like Breadfruit Kingdom, which was a play that we did. Don't use it. I'm not using it anyway.
Or using patois.
Or patois, right? No. So that's something that you will recall because very readily, is that what you're alluding to?
Yes, ma'am. So it helps you to get a strong password in. But because passwords can be lost or stolen, and sometimes you're asking persons to help you and you have to share that password, we ask that you use what we call multi-factor authentication.
What's that?
Yeah. That's really multi-factor authentication. Mm-hmm. What that means is when somebody enters your password to access your online resource, it will send a request, usually in the form of a one-time password or passcode, or requiring you to do an action on some other device. Now, what this means is that it will minimize the risk of you losing access to your resource. And even if you have to get somebody to help you, if you're not there to provide that additional step, it will not work.
It can't go through.
And so it's almost like you have two keys for your car and you give one to your spouse or you leave one somewhere that somebody can access it in the event you lock the first key in the car. So when you use multi-factor authentication, it adds to your security. Now, I wish to make it very clear that there are very few things you can do that will be totally secure. But what you can do is make yourself a harder target for criminals to get into your online resources. And the third is for you to ensure that your devices are, one, up to date as far as their operating system, the applications are patched and they're upgraded as necessary.
That means, hold on, that means when you get a message saying that you need to upgrade, you really should upgrade.
Right.
Yes, but I would say check, then upgrade.
Indeed.
And I say check, then upgrade because there are some very sophisticated scams out there who will send you messages that you need to do something to your device when really it's not coming from the manufacturer of the device or the application. And when you click on the link, you're compromised.
So check first.
Check and then upgrade. But do not leave it for too long because the criminals are better able to get into devices that are unpatched or unmaintained over a long period. And the final point that I would refer to here is for you to ensure that as you go about your business on social media or within your email, if it's something that requires very urgent action, you must do this now, it must happen now, it usually is not something that you should be acting on. And so if it comes from a company that you recognize to be reputable, there are many scams from Amazon. Scotiabank is the last one in Jamaica where there's a significant phishing campaign on. Just reach out to the entity. If you know somebody in the entity, call them. Did your company send us this email? Did they send out an email at all? What is the essence of the email that was sent? And just be very careful as you read these emails, as you approach these social media events and offers, that you're not acting too hastily and that you're doing something that's
Just before Glenn comes in with a question for Deputy Soup, remember if you get an email from the bank or anywhere like that say that they need your password, I'm not true, they don't need it. They don't need the password, that is definitely scamming.
Well, Deputy Superintendent Williams, what should one do if they're a victim of scamming or internet fraud?
Right. So from the JCF perspective, we do have just about any police station across the island, because we don't expect you to be scammed, let's say, somewhere in St. Mary and come all the way to Kingston. So whichever police station is closest to you, just like a normal person that would have any offense at all, you go to the station and make that report. So whether it can be scamming, it doesn't matter. So once you are able to make that report, then they should take action. Nevertheless, if you're in Kingston where the CTOC or the MOCA, it's good to come to those entities because, they will, put some sort of urgency
Some
to
of
it.
our senior citizens can move to go to the place. So
Okay.
tell us how we get in touch with you or how, yes, I'm one.
Right. So we do have police control, which is there for all citizens. If you're impacted by and you need assistance from the police, just make a 119 call. Or I don't want to give you a long number because
Right,
there's so
119. What's the other one? 3 what? You can use it.
The 311?
Yeah, you
yes.
can use that too?
You can use that
so
also.
119 or 311.
That's
Don't
correct.
forget that.
That's correct, right. So they should be able to assist you because police control is strategically located right across the country. Other than that, if you, I can't read out all the telephone numbers for all the police stations, but, they're reachable through that emergency service.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up this interview, I want you to, and I know this is something that Flo and their technical department would also assist with, how to secure your device. But what are your suggestions how to secure your device?
Do's and some don'ts.
Yes.
All right. So to secure your device in this time and era, as the Colonel would have alluded to in terms of password protection, make it long, make it strong. And we say, I have heard one of my colleagues say one of the best password is using your own language, which is patois. You may spell one word different. So you can remember that. Not many persons across the globe would be able to interpret that. Other than that, we also say that you should be careful in terms of, we use the term trust but verify. And you use the analogy with the email situation. So yes, once you get those emails, you try to verify. So you're securing not only yourself as an individual, but of course, you're securing the environment that you work in. Also, we tend to volunteer a lot of personal and sensitive information, so we have to be careful. We have a lot of anonymous persons out there. We have a lot of unscrupulous persons out there. So other than that, with what Colonel has alluded to, I think those are some of the ways that you can protect yourself.
Soup, just responding to a comment on Zoom.
Right.
Tried to make a report on scamming, but got the runaround from the police and other places they referred us to.
Okay.
This is interactive, so we.
Somebody asking this question.
It should never be so, because you're citizens of this country, and we're here to serve and protect you. As I said, things are now happening not only in the physical space, but in the digital realm of things, and the traditional crimes that are now being transformed into a non-traditional platform, internet and using smartphone. So if the police station is in Moko, wherever it is on top of a hill, once you're impacted and whichever is closest to you, they should appreciate your report and seek further assistance from entities that are specialists in that type of investigation. So that's a no-no. That should never happen at all. So if you get a runaround, call 119, or if you know any other police station, the head station, wherever it is, then you can have some assistance.
And of course, people are afraid that when they call, their identity will be shared and that they're afraid people come, give them a harder time.
Understood. That is
mildly.
that is why the 311 is
At
there.
you.
You don't have to disclose your identity.
Remember, 311. You don't have to tell who you are or whatever it is that will make everybody know, say, are you? Right.
Exactly.
Let me just ask Colonel Sterling to put a lid on this discussion here. Anything we have not covered that you think we need to know as senior citizens?
Maybe some red flags that we should look out for.
Red flag. Red flag.
Not the kind down from Saw.
Yeah.
Not that kind of red flag. Okay.
Okay. There are quite a few, Antife, Glenn. The challenge that seniors will face is really trying to maintain their independence and their dignity while navigating cyberspace. As you do so, you really want to ensure that the device you're getting it from a reputable source. If somebody comes to you with a very fancy phone and is selling it to you very cheaply, chances are it was either stolen or something is wrong with it. It could be what we call rooted, and there's malicious software on it that will just simply compromise the device once you have it. When you're using your email, try to keep track of who you give your password to, who has access to the device. I know there is probably a shortage of devices in households, and so devices are shared, but there can be profiles built on the device so that each person has a unique space, and the co-mingling of your access codes does not take place. Ensure that when you go places, you do not turn your phone face up. You do not try to leave it or give it to people to look at things you're doing. And one thing that is almost synonymous with your device is your access cards, your bank cards. And so do not tell people your PIN just because you can't reach across because of the social distancing. Do not allow people to go into back rooms with it. Do not use ATMs that are in out of the way places. And when you get in there, just scan around for the things. And once you get back to your device, you will realize that when you add your different accounts, do not use the same password for all of them. And if you find that your cell phone is getting hot, if you find that it's going off at times when it shouldn't be, if you find that these things are happening, chances are your device is compromised. The final thing has to do with your home internet connection.
Oh, do you know that's what I write down? Wi-Fi connection and people outside of your yard I get on from it. Oh, you know, talk to us. And that is when you have your Wi-Fi connection at home. I'm going to ask Colonel to expand on it. You need to put in a system where nobody can stay out of your yard and get on. Am I right?
True, ma'am. Very true. And so there are three basic things that you need to do. Once the installer turns up and gives you that generic access code and username, you need to change that. If you can't do it, get somebody that you trust to do it for you. Additionally, you need to restrict who can have access to it. So you don't need your Wi-Fi to be open for all your neighbors, unless that's the intent. And even then, you restrict it to your neighbors. But once you restrict the access, it will actually prevent persons from being able to walk by and see that you have an open Wi-Fi or that you have Wi-Fi at all. So you can actually hide your what we call SSID or secure identifier. So when people walk by, they'll probably just know that, well, you have internet, but they can't access it. And thirdly, do not share this access code with people that are not meant to be using your Wi-Fi. And when you go to places that do business, if you access the free Wi-Fi, be very careful what you share when you're connected like that, because there are a lot of threats out there, the most common of them being the evil twin, where persons actually...
The what?
Evil twin.
Evil?
Twin.
What is that?
That is where persons actually clone free Wi-Fi access out there, and when you log on to what you think is a legitimate SSID, you're actually logging on to the hacker's Wi-Fi, and then they get everything that you send across.
You see how much information we learn. You are an evil twin. No, sorry.
And might I add to it?
Yeah, go ahead. You wanted to add to that?
Yeah, might I add to it? Other than the evil twin, we are in an era now where we're seeing a lot of malicious code because we tend to click on everything. Especially as senior citizens, you'll visit websites, you'll do shopping online, and there's a lot of sites that are not authentic. You'll send emails with attachment and so forth. But once you click on those attachments and sometimes those websites, it can dump what we call a malicious code, a malware. What the malware does, it has a keylogger, so it sees every message that you type. It can turn on your camera. It can listen to what you're saying. So we have to be careful of what we are doing and the sites that we're visiting and the things that we're downloading on our instruments, because it may very well open a port or a door that you don't even know, especially now where we have the Internet of Things, where almost everything is interconnected. If you notice, if you have two phones, if you visit, let's say, Google on one phone, if you go to the other,
Everything.
it's on the same page. So they're all interconnected, so you have to be careful, of the sites that you visit and be careful of these malicious code.
We could talk to you all day because this is fascinating. I never knew about the evil twin, and I don't feel bad because Glenn is younger than I am and he didn't know either, right? But listen, man, watch how you use a space. It's not that you shouldn't use it, but you should be extra careful. Remember, if you want to share some information or get some information with the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, it's www.c as in carrot, IRT as in toy.gov.jm. Did I do that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And this gentleman, Deputy Superintendent, you're connected to C-Talk.
We're part of CTalk.
Wow, I see you're saying that, C-Talk. Whenever I see the ad on TV about C-Talk, and when them top the people out on the airport road, so they must stop it if it starts to happen. So tell them. Yes. Glenn, you want to put a lid on this?
Gentlemen, just like to say thank you so much for sharing with us. I learned a lot. Yes. Auntie Faye learned quite a bit, more than me, because I have all the information. But thank you once again.
Thank you for having us.
We were speaking with Deputy Superintendent Warren Williams from the JCF Cyber Crimes Division and Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling, head of Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team.
Just before them go, you spent 24 years in the JDF. How many years are you with the JCF?
I have broken service. This could be about 20.
All right, but we want to thank you both for your service to this nation.
Yes, thank you.
Two very important institutions. God bless you both and be safe.
Thank you very much for having us. Yes.
Well, what are we going to know?
Well, I'd like to first announce the winners for the second question.
Why do they tell you all of the announcements?
Because I have all the information.
All right, go on.
Winners of the second question. From YouTube, we have Star Apple Baby.
Ooh.
From Zoom, we have Nicole Borrow-Lee. And from Facebook, we have Merlene Davis. And all the winners, we're asking that you reach out to Flow Foundation JA at cwc.com to arrange collection of your prizes.
All right. So we just want to thank you again for watching Zoom, Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube. We're not done yet. We have more things that we need to go to.
And remember, this is also interactive. So we're asking you to send in your questions. We'll try to get the answers for you in this special, important Seniors Forum. We're going to take a break. Come back in a couple of minutes.
Are you and your child practicing safe internet use? Join Flo and Dr. Terry Carell Reed for Safer Internet Week Kids Talk. Live on TVJ, Saturday, February 12th at 9:30 a.m. Kids, learn the smart rules of safe internet practices. Parents, learn how to guide and monitor your child's internet usage. You don't want to miss it.
Grab a copy for news you can use. Jamaica Observer, every day matters.
Our news, our world, our today.
Jamaica Observer tells the news stories that matter from Portland to the Grill and points in between. Get your Daily Observer and be always ahead with reports from our team of correspondents across the country. Never miss a story. Subscribe to our print or e-paper editions at JamaicaObserver.com. Always ahead.
Are you and your child practicing safe internet use? Join Flo and Dr. Terry Carell Reed for Safer Internet Week Kids Talk. Live on TVJ, Saturday, February 12th at 9:30 a.m. Kids, learn the smart rules of safe internet practices. Parents, learn how to guide and monitor your child's internet usage. You don't want to miss it.
Grab a copy for news you can use. Jamaica Observer, every day matters.
Our news, our world, our today.
Jamaica Observer tells the news stories that matter from Portland to the Grill and points in between. Get your Daily Observer and be always ahead with reports from our team of correspondents across the country. Never miss a story. Subscribe to our print or e-paper editions at JamaicaObserver.com. Always ahead.
Are you and your child practicing safe internet use? Join Flo and Dr. Terry Carell Reed for Safer Internet Week Kids Talk. Live on TVJ, Saturday, February 12th at 9:30 a.m. Kids, learn the smart rules of safe internet practices. Parents, learn how to guide and monitor your child's internet usage. You don't want to miss it.
Grab a copy for news you can use. Jamaica Observer, every day matters.
Welcome back, and this is the Flow Seniors Forum, and it's Safer Internet Week. For those just joining us, Auntie Faye and myself, Glenn Campbell, and we're here to just interact with you. And remember, this is an interactive session, all right? So we want to hear from you too. Oh, news flash.
What is it?
Me just get news flash. Max, you there? Guess what? You also win a phone. Yeah, we're all about transparency. And so we're
Hold on.
Floor.
No. Which Max?
Mags.
Oh, you
Mags.
frightened me.
You win a phone. So we're asking you to contact us. Again, how to contact us? flowfoundationja@cwc.com to arrange collection of your prize. All right? So as we continue sharing information and informing you as how to be safer during Safer Internet Week, I'd like to introduce Sean Bolton from the Ministry of Health's IT department. Now, this is a very important man to know, and he has a wealth of information to share with us. Take it easy. That's what we're talking about. And he's going to tell us 5 simple ways.
Spell the tech. T-E-C-H.
T-E-C-H.
Tech it easy.
You understand that? Yeah, you see how we do it? Cute, no? Take it easy. 5 simple ways to upload and digitize your COVID vaccination card. Sean never know what go on a John shop, you know, but we walk with my own.
At you.
Anyway, Mr. Sean Bolton, welcome. How are you, sir?
I'm good, I'm good.
So, tell us easy ways to upload our information and digitize our COVID vaccination.
I think you better start with the upload first.
Great question. So in terms of uploading, your information would have been uploaded when you went to do your vaccination, right? So if you may have noticed when you go to the vaccination sites, there are persons there with some tablets which actually upload your information to the database at the point of vaccination. So in terms of uploading, your information would have already been uploaded.
So you haven't got to do that yourself.
No, you don't need to upload yourself.
What? All right, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So in terms of getting your digital vaccination certificate, there are simple ways, right? We try to make it as easy as possible so that persons do not have much, hassle getting your digital vaccination certificate. So I will simply demonstrate.
So Mr. Bolton is going
about
to...
you, no about me. I forgot to see what going on over here, so.
Well, go and go look. I am telling you, I am staying over here and hear what he has to say because I have some questions to ask that I know you have to ask, but let's follow through with this now.
So it's simple. You go to www.moh.gov.jm. So to your right on the screen, you'll see an orange bar that says Vaccination Resources. You click on Vaccination Resources. So the beauty about this as well, you can use a desktop computer, laptop computer, your mobile phone, or a tablet.
Okay.
All right? And any phone, it can be Android or iOS, which is Apple phone. So you scroll down to get and validate your vaccination certificate. Click on that. Click on get your vaccination certificate. So for this, you'll definitely need internet access to get your vaccination certificate. Once you're on this page, scroll to download your vaccination certificate. Click on the download button. Now, for this, you will need your 10-digit mobile number. This mobile number has to be working for you to get a SMS and our previous colleagues.
So not email, but mobile.
Mobile, right. So they mentioned about
multi-authentication,
right.
multi-factor authentication.
Right. So this is one of the ways in which we are looking at multi-factor authentication. So what will happen is that an SMS will be sent to your...
It's a message, a text message going to go to your phone.
Sent to your mobile phone. So you put in your mobile number, and you click on Get OTP. So
Get
OTP,
which is one-time
password.
And you have to spell out anything, you know. We're not talking a short and things all senior citizens understand. OTP, one-time password.
OTP, which means one-time password, right? And it is indeed a one-time password.
Once you use it, that's it.
Once you use it, that's it. And it lasts for 5 minutes, right? So after 5 minutes, you'll have to download another one-time password. So in the box, you enter your one-time password and then log into Portal. What this will do is to start the download of your certificate, right? You need to ensure that your internet is good, strong internet, to ensure that it downloads really quick. So if you look on screen, this is a dummy or mock-up certificate, which was created for Mark Anthony Dixon. That's just a fictitious name, by the way. So when you look on the certificate, you will try to ensure that the information on the certificate is correct.
Read what information is there for those persons who may be listening or are blind.
So one thing that you need to ensure is that you will see a lock here to ensure that it is a valid page, right? My colleagues may have mentioned that before.
Lock.
It's a lock to say that the page is secured, right?
Okay.
Because there are persons out there that may want to mimic these pages.
Just go back to the lock. Tell them where they see the lock on the page.
So the lock is at the top, where you see the URL, which is VaxCert, right? So this lock here is what shows you that the page is secured. Now you need to validate the information on the certificate. So you'll need to ensure that the full name is there. It can be your first name and last name only. If you don't have a middle name, that's fine, right? So it's Mark Dixon would have been the full name, first and last name. You need to ensure that your date of birth is correct. So this person is 1990, January the 1st. You need to ensure that your sex is correct. So the date of issue would have been today, right?
That's when you download it.
That is when you downloaded.
So whenever you download, that's the date of issue.
Right, right. So you may see.
Brother Sean, before you go any further, in the event that I'm checking my name and the name is spelled incorrectly.
Right, so I'm going to that.
I was going to let him go through because there are a number of other things
Right.
I want to ask.
So when you look and you say, okay, Mark Dixon, maybe you have a C. It's a C rather than a K.
Rather than the
right,
IX.
Right. If you look at the top, you'll see, please check your vaccination details to ensure that it is correct. If you are satisfied, you may print or download your certificate. If the data is incorrect, please click on the link. So this link will take you to our verification page where you will enter your first name, your last name, the date of birth, day, month, and then year. You may enter your TRN, right? So on the page, especially for those over 60, there is an incentive for entering your TRN, right? So ensure that whenever you go to the sites, you have present your TRN so that you can, claim for that. So you enter your TRN. So I'm just putting in fictitious data here, and your mobile number. So again, some persons may have gone to the site with a landline number at the time of vaccination. This is a perfect opportunity for you to change that landline to a mobile number.
Okay.
But it's a mobile number that we need to use.
Right.
Yeah.
So you now need to put in your mobile number. And the 876 is already there, so you just need to add the others. Then you click on next. So the information will come up to say, give you your first dose and your second dose information. The spelling that is in the system, so you may see Mark, but your name is actually a C, right? What you need to do to change that is to ensure that you upload your ID card, right? So we ask for your ID card to validate that this person is you, because anyone may have known...
Multi-factor authentication again.
Right, so anyone may have known that your date of birth is X or your phone number is Y and want to be malicious to change the information on your digital vaccination card. So it is important that you upload a picture ID for the persons to make these changes. One thing you must note, it is not an automated system that once you upload your information, it will be changed.
It takes, how long does it take for that change to happen?
So we try to do it within 72 hours. Some persons may have gone a little bit over 72 hours, but we do ask for your patience while we try to ensure that all the
Ah,
data is.
Me have a problem.
Let me sit
So
down.
I'm not going to tell you about the
sit down for
problem.
this.
All right, let us just finish.
Yeah, because other people have it too. So I went on to get my digital vaccination card, and everything looked good. And when I look, it had sex other. And last time I checked, me didn't know it's female, right?
You are other?
So it's there. So me go in and do everything where you do, where you say we fi do, and send the thing up and wait to the thing. So me wait and me wait. And then about a week, this was in December, about a week ago, me get a thing, me say, yes, it come now. Where me go, this other still there the same way. There seems to be a glitch in the system. So if there is one, I think you need to share with all of us so we know that there is and that you're not working in it or something.
Right.
Am I correct that there's a glitch?
There's not so much of a glitch, but what may have happened is that we had to do some upgrades. So you may have gotten another text to say that your Vax card is now ready.
Yeah.
So persons may have gotten a second text earlier this year to say that your Vax card is ready, which we are in the process of also ensuring that the data is correct.
Yeah. So maybe just to send out a little thing that, you know,
Right.
we're upgrading and it has kind of maybe sending out information
Right.
twice that
Right.
not ready yet.
That is
And
Yeah.
while we're here, Sean, they're asking if you could repeat the site information that people need to go to.
So it's
W-
www.moh.gov.jm
Which is the Ministry of Health website.
website. That is correct.
But it doesn't have the wellness part on it, you know, just MOH. www.moh.gov.jm.
Right. So
Sean,
once
sorry, go ahead. You finish your what you.
So once you have uploaded your information, so you want to indicate the type of ID card, then you will put in the number. You'll also upload the picture ID. So you may need to take a picture of your ID card. Right? If you're using a mobile phone, once you click on choose file, it will go to your gallery, and you can choose the picture and upload.
And the gallery is where all your pictures are when you take
Right.
pictures with your phone.
Also, when you look, you'll see gender, so you may want to ensure that you click on male or female. Also, we ask that you upload the front of the vaccination card, right? And then the inside of the vaccination card. So the inside will be the first dose and your second dose. If you have done a Johnson & Johnson, which is a one-dose vaccine, then you can just upload just the one dose because it's only one dose. After that, you'll ensure that you click on I am a robot. You may enter your address as well just to ensure maybe you have changed your address.
You went that so fast. Tell them
Right.
about the I'm not a robot one.
So
because remember, you know, we're dealing with people who may not be doing this
Right.
using systems too
Right.
frequently.
So you want to click on this checkbox here that says, I am not a robot. What happens is that there are malicious persons that will want to feed information automatically to the site, which will then corrupt the site or corrupted information, etc. So you want to ensure that it's a human actually touching the machine and interacting with the website. So you need to manually check I am not a robot. And once you are done, then you can click on submit.
Right.
Right?
It was pretty easy when I was when it
so-
came in, but you know, we just hope
Yeah.
that those little things will be worked out soon.
So if you're having any issues in terms of going through these steps, you may also want to take this number down.
Go ahead.
Okay, and
Yeah. Yes.
So it's the 888 One Love helpline.
Oh, that's 888-1, the number one or the word one?
The word one.
Okay, 888-1ONE Love Helpline. All right.
Right.
So, Sean, you get lots of email messages coming in for clarification on this the digital
Yes.
Vax card.
Yes. So we have quite an influx of requests coming in regarding, name change. Their persons may have been married, want to change their last name. In your case, you may see the gender being incorrect. So at the sites there may be a little bit of data entry mishaps. So we want to ensure that the information on the vaccination certificate is incorrect, is correct.
Yes. Just before we wrap this up, this is Sean Bolton, IT expert from the Ministry of Health. But here's something else I want you to just remind us of. Sometimes you've helped older people and you put your phone number, not theirs.
Yes.
Right. So just go through that if you've helped somebody
Right.
and you're going to try to get their, how you operate.
So many persons may have gone to the site with your daughter, son, family member or friend that will actually have a mobile number, right? So for these persons, if you have entered that mobile number for your grandmother or mother, etc., you will then have to use this number to get the digital certificate. So this number is actually tied to the certificate itself. So if you have 2 grandparents and you have used your number, when you go to the site to download your digital certificate, what will happen is that you will see 3. You'll see yours, you'll see your grandmother and your grandfather's name at the top, and you may now select.
Select, because I saw my mother's.
Right. You may now select the card that you want to download, and then you go through the verification process to ensure it's correct.
All right, we have a few questions,
Yes.
Sean, before we wrap up. We'd like to go through them quickly. One question from O'Reilly on YouTube. Ministry of Health sent a request for me to upload my vaccination info. Why?
Okay, so we ask that you upload your information if the vaccination, digital vaccination certificate is incorrect. So you do not need to upload your information if the information on the digital certificate is already correct.
All right, so we hope that answers you, Mr. Origi. Here's another one from Zoom now. Is the information accessed via the scan accessible internationally?
Yes. So
From
it's
Donna McCoy.
anywhere.
Thank you, Donna.
Right. So there's a validation portal in which you can validate whether or not a certificate is actually authentic. Right. So if you go back to the ministry's webpage, vaccination resources, get or validate a vaccination card. Once you click on the validate, it will ask you to access your camera. Once you have give it access to your camera, you may then focus on the QR code, and it will pop up with the information that is on the certificate. This is done to ensure that persons who are perhaps entering your establishment is actually vaccinated.
You heard the term QR code. Sometimes the IT people just run off their lips and, just describe it. That little box with a little word of black and white.
Right, so this is the QR code if you're looking on the screen. It's, as you say, it's a square box with some images, which actually is an encryption of the information on the certificate itself.
Lots of info. You have
All
another
right,
question?
another question from YouTube. How do I go about uploading my information if there was not a representative on the vaccination site to record my information on a tablet?
Okay, so there are many ways you can do this, right? And for those persons who may not be technologically savvy, right, you may go to a fixed vaccination site. We have 61 fixed vaccination sites across Jamaica. You can go to any one of those sites in which you'll get assistance there. They can also print your vaccination card for you.
All right. Here's another one. Enough questions for you. No, tell you,
fine.
it's an important area, but they're not aggressive, I can tell you. Here's a good one. What happens to people who got all their shots overseas?
Well, for those, it's a little tricky. So you will have to go to the vaccination site for your card to be validated by the medical officer on site.
All right. And somebody's asking a question here. Remind me why you need to upload a picture ID, please, so that I know say you.
Right.
Make sure you upload your picture ID so that you can imagine when things say, Miss Glenn? No, that can't work.
That me was Ada?
Behave, leave me alone, it's soon fixed. Go on.
All right, from Margaret on Zoom. I got my certificate, but one of the batch numbers does not correspond with the card. Is that important? How do we fix that?
Yes, so what you will need to do is to go through the steps again, go to the verification portal. You can also find this on the MOH website, that same link, vaccination resources. Go to verify your vaccination details, and you need to go through the process of uploading your ID card and the vaccination card, and then we will have a look at it.
All right, so I'm going to Sister Adele now. She says, my first shot of the Astra says S, and I think is II.
Right.
And the second shot says Astra. Do I need to have it corrected at the center before I download my card? Miss Certain soon they say we have to correct it?
Yes, so you need to go to the fixed vaccination site to correct the card. However, on the system, you will see AstraZeneca.
Okay.
All right, one last question before we wrap. Is information of a booster to be included for downloading the vaccination card certificate?
Yes, so for this person that I've used, Mark Dixon, unfortunately, he hasn't done his booster shot yet based on the time. So his first dose was January the 3rd. The second dose is January 30th. There's a time frame in which you need to wait,
the booster.
Right, before you get your booster shot. So this person may have not gotten their booster, but yes, your third dose will show on the vaccination certificate.
What me to do my booster on December 16, remember it? But was it not there?
Okay, you may need to upload that as well.
Huh? Okay. All right, that means that we have work to do. What a crap. You don't do yours, eh? Your booster?
No.
Okay. No, right, so I did it 6 months after the June 16.
Right.
All right. Sean, this has been very, very helpful.
Right, good.
And we know that these things can put particular pressure on the technology, and you are the IT expert. We recognize that there are some challenges, but you're saying you're upgrading the system, and those challenges should be sorted out sooner rather than later. Thank you for your work. I know that sometimes we get on your case as the Ministry of Health, but we also recognize that you're doing some really, really heavy hauling at a very difficult time. So thank you to you and your team. What's the size of the team in the IT department there?
Well, we have a large team to manage the vaccination cert across the island as well.
Okay.
Because some of we, you know, Sean, some of we head tough.
And?
So we thank you for the help and assistance.
Right. But again, I just want to emphasize for those persons that may need assistance, you may go to a fixed vaccination site, or you may call the 888 One Love.
And remember, it's the word one, 888 ONE, you didn't win anything yet, right? ONE, LOV, One Help. Am I right?
No, One Love.
One Love.
LOVE.
And what the other one go?
No,
just the One Love?
It's just a helpline.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, so that's 876-888 ONE, LOV.
It's 888.
All right, no, 876, not it, right, it's 888.
888.
Watch your one over there, so must have said to himself, no, that one, they're not so right, you know. Anyway, leave me alone, leave me alone. But thanks again, YouTube, Instagram.
Facebook.
And there's another one, Zoom.
Zoom,
But I feel my
yes.
head not right. My feel my head not right. All right, good. And he's much younger than I am. Much
Folks,
younger.
we'd like to just say thank you for joining us today. Remember now, the internet is somewhere that is so useful. Meet people, socialize, work, do business. But the thing is to be safe. Do it safely and do it properly.
Indeed. So no need to be afraid. We want to remind you to observe the protocols. We are still in COVID-19. Yes, and as soon as I'm done. By the way, did you notice, Sean? A two him of on, you know.
One for you and one for me. Not, no chance.
Me I say, the Minister of Health should be very proud. Him come well marks up, you understand? But seriously, so as soon as we're done, we put on back, Glenn has his right there. Remember the physical distancing. We still have to keep the space, yeah? And the washing of the hands. No matter things say done, and it can't just do some running water over it. And do not mix your, what you call it, Where's something there? Don't mix the sanitizers. Don't mix it. So don't put alcohol with something else. I see. Is that a message on the bottom there that's coming up? Remember to, okay, and to put you, just if you have something that you want to say, drop us a line on
Yes,
the topics that you
Flow,
want.
Flow is promising to have some more forums
Yeah.
to facilitate your needs and your inquiries. And so if you have a topic that we probably haven't touched today and you think that you'd like us to explore it and share with you, then feel free. Drop us a line. We will certainly look at it.
Well, good. Tell them other one how to do, but before I go, you know me not the habit, and you know we are. I want to thank everybody who worked behind the scenes.
Yes.
Cameras, sounds, computers, production in terms of getting running order and all of that. Everybody
services,
to make
liquor,
this possible.
coffee, the water,
You know, I always tell,
everything.
yes, indeed. I always tell people, you know, those of us who are, you can see and hear, we are just a tip of the iceberg. And if there wasn't 7/8 working behind the scene, then we wouldn't see or hear us. Walk good. Tell them what I want to do.
Take care.